Welcome back guys to a new video. Now today's video is going to be all about the brand new DLC that will be coming out to ARK Survival Evolved next month, which is October 2017, and it is Aberration. We were given, if some of you may know, we were given ARK Digest 50, which is like a question and answer session with the co-founder of Wildcard, Jeremy, and it's like a whole edition just based on Aberration. So I thought this would be a great video to make, as today when this video goes live is the 25th, which is, we're coming to the end of September now, and this is available in October, so it's not long away, and I've got some great information to show you guys in today's video. Now, if you do enjoy it, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. That would really help me out, guys. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Instagram for loads more ARK news, the links to them will be in the description down below. But we're going to be getting straight into this, and the first thing that we're going to pass through, which is the brand new Mysterious Mysteries that was released, which, if you don't know what Mysterious Mysteries is, which I know a lot of you guys will, this is like when they're bringing out a new DLC, and there might be some new creatures coming, like what they did with Scorched Earth, and they do like a Mysterious Mysteries for you guys to try and guess what like type of creature this is or something like that. I have no idea personally what this is at all. Like with the other ones, we had more of an an idea, but you know, this could be maybe the rock drake or something. I don't know, but it looks like it's got wings. I could be wrong, I could be right, I don't know, but if I'm wrong, make sure to let me know. I don't think it is, because it's got some sort of strange head, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out a lot more about it. But anyway, we're going to be getting into ARK Digest 50, as you guys will see, which we get all the information that we needed to know, guys. There's some great stuff here, and I'm going to be reading it all to you now. So the first question is, will Aberration have an Ascension Boss like basically what happened with the island when you went to go and fight with the Overseer and stuff? And Jeremy replied, yes, along with an increased Ascension level and a narrative advanced ending, basically. So this looks like it's going to be like 10 times better than the other ending of ARK Survival Evolved on the island when you ascend and unlock Ragnarok, because there's actually a narrative ending, which this is just going to be, I can see it being so good, guys, and I'm so excited for this to be released. Now, as I said, when you go and fight the Overseer and then you you ascend and stuff, that was like the ending of the island map, whereas with this one, it's like they're putting more effort into a proper type of story mode when you ascend on this, on Aberration. So when you ascend on Aberration, you do whatever you've got to do in there, then you'll move on to, and that will sort of be the lead up to their final DLC, which will be coming out in 2018. But I'm really excited to see some sort of more, like a really awesome campaign. Just saying that, like, just like on Destiny, where you have the main boss that speaks, and you have to fight him. Having a similar thing like that in ARK would just make the game so much better, and I'm so happy as time's going on, they're like putting much more work into the game and actually making it, like, to see where the game's come from right from the start, to see where it is now, to having story modes and stuff in. I kind of guessed this like a year ago, if you didn't know, I've made so many videos about an ARK story mode in the past, and I knew this type of thing would be happening, so definitely looking forward to this. So will DLC content be carried over to different arcs in the island, like the center and Ragnarok and stuff, like the zip line and ice picks and whatever that's being released into Aberration? And yes, it will. All of the items are being designed to be more useful than just Aberration. So that is going to be something else really great into the game, guys. So there'll be zip lines and ice picks and everything in all the other maps. So you'll be able to climb up walls and rock cliffs and stuff by bringing the picks from Aberration into your different maps. So let's say if you're not really the biggest, you try Aberration out and you're not the biggest fan of it, and you still prefer Ragnarok or the island or whatever map you prefer, you'll have all that stuff over onto those maps anyway from Aberration. So you have to see what I'm really personally excited for Aberration. My favourite map right now is Ragnarok, but, I would definitely love to see how it is and see if it, I hope it does become one of my new favourite maps. How will taming work in Aberration? Will there be any major changes to the taming mechanic, or will it be roughly the same? Will there be kibble asking for a friend? So most of the creatures will be similar in the core mechanics to the island, but there are a very few that are crazy to tame. So this is what Jeremy said. There is like a new few creatures that are going to be very weird to tame. It's going to be interesting. I don't know anything else about it, but all I'm going to say to you guys is there's going to be some like strange new creatures on the, which is going to be interesting to see how it works. I couldn't really tell you what it's going to be because it's too hard of, you know, we want to be able to see this actually in gameplay. So when this gets released, I'll do loads of videos on it and stuff. But yes, there is going to be some new ways to tame in ARK. So the next question is, I've heard multiple sources that there will be no flyers on this map. Will you restrict any form of transferring flyers, or will tribes be allowed to move like wyverns and stuff onto the Aberration from the island? By default and on official servers, there will be no rideable flyers transferable onto the map. In order to encourage new forms of like transport and stuff, there will be a server option for this. So no flyers or anything will be able to be brought onto the map on official servers, but if you do have your own like single player or dedicated server or something, there will be a server option to change this. And I probably will stay to the normal aspect of Aberration without the flyers, but as if I was doing like a map review, I might want to, you know, bring in a flyer or something like that to the game. I think it would be pretty awesome to have a little look around. But anyway, does this map have a more of a PvE focus, or at least more PvE orientated content into the game? So like, is there more PvE in this game, or is it just going to be like, because a lot of people complain that ARK is more PvP than PvE, and I personally agree it is. I feel like the main side of it, people just think about is PvP straight away. I love PvP, I love PvE, so I'm pretty happy with whatever goes. Like, you know, I think there does need to be a fair mix of PvP and PvE, because some people just don't like the fighting element of it, and, you know, some people do, and it's up to them what they want to do. But this was the response. So in my view, Aberration is the most PvE orientated ARK. I can't even say that word anyway, but with more story development than ever before, and more unique more unique landmarks to find and explore. So there's going to be, you know, a side that's more PvE within this, so I'm pretty excited about that. Not just because, you know, there will be PvP probably on this map, but as from what we can see, it's quite like a story mode type of thing. So I would say it's good to have a little bit of a change to ARK, you know, have a bit as more of a story development and, you know, new things to find and explore, and be able to work together to actually, I feel like Aberration is going to be more of a challenge than on the other maps. You know, you build and you tame, and then once you've done that, you want to be the best tribe ever. So I reckon that still will be like there for Aberration, but I feel like the map's going to be so tough that you've actually got to work together to be able to beat the creatures in this new crazy world. Like, I don't know what you guys think, but that's exactly what I think it's going to be like. There will be PvP, but a lot of PvE will be in this. I heard that because of how Aberration's map is designed, Gamma won't work on it to make it lighter. Is this true? If so, is there going to be a server option for unofficials to enable Gamma working on that map? Not sure where you heard that. No plans to change the current Gamma. So don't worry about if anyone was worried about this. There's no plans to change any Gamma within the game. So what are element chambers? They are zones of intense radiation where it's possible to collect element ore, as well as encounter certain hideous aggressive creatures. So that's what the element chambers are on Aberration. Unlike Scorched Earth, where we saw a whole lot of creatures from the island, can we expect only to see new creatures on Aberration? So Aberration will include various biome appropriate creatures from the island, similar to Scorched Earth. So there will be places on Aberration where it's kind of, I don't know, like the area isn't suitable for normal things like such as Rexes or, you know, or Spinos or anything, but there will be places on Aberration where the normal dinos will be able to live and you will be able to tame them. And if you haven't seen from the trailer, there is actually a raptor in it, so don't worry guys, there will be you know, normal dinos in Aberration as well. What has persuaded you guys to go for the sci-fi approach? You could have picked many different routes, but what was the logic thought for this choice and incorporation of radiation and other such things that are that are space themed? So they replied, in this case, Aberration was chosen in order to develop the next story of, you know, of ARK, basically. So they had to follow this route because that's what they planned to do right from the start. And, you know, I would like to see what's next, really. I really want to find out what is going to be the final DLC. That is going to be a load of fun, and I can't wait to bring more of that on the channel. Will the cliff platforms be like the tree platforms in the way that they can only be placed in specific spots, or will you be able to place them anywhere? Will you be able to snap things on cliff platforms? You can build the cliff platforms onto any surface that has sufficient attachment area. Not only, you know, like, it's so... anything that has an attachment area, you'll be able to place, you can build onto the cliff platforms, basically, guys. So that's just the way I'm going to sum that up there. A big part of Aberration is the idea that the the malfunctioning ARK is led to mutations in its population. Are we getting / can we get like a lure into what what developed into what, like the lantern, like just like there's like they're just saying like what could it have been like before, like could have the rock drake been the Megalena, or just what did they develop into? Like this guy wants to know the background story and where the map came into. Like it would be good. So yes, there will be some indications along those lines. What developed into the nameless ? So there's gonna be, if you're wondering what the mutations are, like, you know, so could they be what could a Rex have turned into something, like, you know, because of the mutation? Like, well, what is it gonna be? Like, I definitely think that's gonna be something like exciting to bring into it. Will we be able to directly harvest element in Aberration, either as a resource with a new tool such as a special pick, or killing certain creatures? And the simple reply to that was yes. Will Aberration have a new building tier just like Scorched Earth got Adobe building tier? And they replied, it won't have a completely unique tile set, but a lot of new utility structures. Next question is, it was mentioned that ARK in Aberration has an unstable atmosphere, leaks. So how does that tie into gameplay? If if it does, like, are there some areas where you can, you'd suffocate outside of water? If so, will there be any masks or tools that counteract this? And the response to that was, yes, there are areas with low or no oxygen, and of course, a very harsh surface radiation, along with various other environmental hazards. There is a new hazard suit designed to aid in, counteracting some of these different conditions within the ARK. So this, links to me talking about how it's going to be much harder now, and the map itself, like, that's why it's going to be more PvE, because the map itself is going to be hard to actually conquer, rather than just jumping straight in and wanting to PvP someone, because you're going to need to make sure that you're wearing your hazmat suit to be able to, be safe. This world is supposedly supposed to be hostile with mutants, correct? Is it going to be one of those situations where it's very difficult to start and you constantly die as you spawn? We're trying to make the initial difficulty ramp more like forgiving on this ARK, for example. They're gonna make it quite chilled. It's like it gets more difficult the deeper you go into the map, but the different spawns are gonna be more chilled. That's what I'm gonna round it up, because sometimes obviously some of the answers can be quite confusing for you guys, so I just like to round it up. So when you spawn, there will be some challenging stuff, obviously, but when you go deeper and deeper into the map, that is when it is going to start to get hard. So I quite like a challenge on a game, so, because you just don't skip through it quickly, whereas with this, it's going to be like a really long grind, and I know some of you are thinking, oh no, here we go again, we have to grind hard for something. I think it'll be, you will want to, because it'll be a new challenge and a load of fun, and there'll be different ways that will just keep the game just in so much fun, I personally think. The next question is, the question most of the community will ask is, will there be legacy servers for this DLC? And the reply was, of course, so don't worry, legacy servers will be coming out with this DLC. Will you be able to fire weapons from the back of a rock wyvern? I think it'll be equal parts amazing and terrifying to have a firing platform for a sniper that functions as a glider and can utilize a basic active camouflage. Would be awesome to see, to use like this sort of like style of warfare. And I think he means the rock drake, but similar thing basically. And the reply to that was yes. The next question was, will the cave climbing picks be able to use freely on any cliff such cave or only in certain areas? And it's freely on any surface. The climbing picks will work absolutely everywhere, so don't worry about that. The next question is, how useful a role will it's a similar question to what I said before, like what's the climbing going to be about, the moving? So I'll just do the answer. So most of Aberration's creatures have compatibilities, I couldn't even speak there, to move through the complex environment, and there also will be new structures to aid. So yeah, anyway, let me just round that up, because I've messed up so badly there just as I was reading through and got confused. So he was saying when are the creatures in the in new Aberration going to have some sort of speciality to be able to get through the map and get around, like the rock drake climbing around? Is he going to be able to, is it how all the dinos going to work in this new type of atmosphere? And there's going to be different types of specialities that new creatures have in the game that's going to help them be able to move freely through Aberration. So that's, I think, the best way I can actually sum that up to you. How will earthquakes change the way players build their bases and raise their dinos? Are the earthquakes capable of damaging structures, and if so, are there any ways we can migrate these effects? They are capable of damaging structures, but only in intense certain areas of certain biomes. Building permanent bases there is not advised. So earthquakes will be in the game, and it will be capable of damaging structures, but it will only be, and it's very intense in certain areas and certain biomes. So building in those places where there'll mostly be the earthquakes, building a permanent base is not advised at all for there. So scrolling down to the final question of the video, how will radiation affect the way players explore, and how will hazard suits work with the system? Will there be any more strange creatures that survive and possibly even thrive in radiation zones? Is there any solely on the surface, or will we encounter some underground as well? So yes, a few creatures types, a few creatures like benefit from the radiation, and some on the surface, and there's gonna be loads of different types of creatures in loads of different areas. The hazard suit, well, it's like the radiation from that. It just basically protects you, as you know from the radiation, and the durability is decreased over time when it hits such effects, like when you use it so much, because it depends on how powerful the radiation is going to be. So the hazmat suit will like get worse and end up breaking if the radiation is too strong, and you understand, so you have to make sure you've got one as a backup. But anyway, that is the end of the video. I'm sorry if where I messed up in a certain few places. I tried my best. There was lots of pretty crazy questions there, and I wanted to get through as much of the information as I could for you guys. So I'm sorry if I did get some stuff wrong in that, but I tried my best. Anyway, if you did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram for loads more, ARK news and stuff, and I'll see you guys in my next video.